Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we're talking about Outlaw Star, which was a random choice / my choice. It was good. It was nice. It was
worth it. I liked it.
It was worth it. However, before all that, we were talking about giant African snails, giant cockroaches as pets, talking about Naruto, how Rick wants Naruto to be a show about books, and how I fight this, and how he tries to justify a bunch of other things. But that's all right. I mean, like, you want to catch a part of that very long and wide conversation, patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will get you that bonus content and more. I mean, a hell of a lot more. Now, on to the meat and potatoes. Outlaw Star came out in January 1998 through June 1998. It's originally 24 episodes long, unless you bought the VHS version or you're watching it on Funimation, in which case it is 26 episodes long. Reason for that is because two episodes 16 and 23, were released exclusively on those platforms, not part of the original air. Genres are action, adventure, comedy, sci-fi, space, ecchi. The producers for it are Sotsu and Victor Anime, and studio for it is Sunrise, and the source of it is a manga.
That actually surprises me. I thought this would have been
an original.
Yeah.
No, but
I'm okay with it.
I could so Outlaw Star, in all its love and glory and bewilderment, I can kind of see like similarities between this and where other anime really got their
kick. Yeah, you and I was talking about this before.
Not their kick, but their God damn it. What am I thinking of?
Their ideas from?
Yeah, their inspiration.
Yeah, so when I was talking to you earlier, I thought that like Outlaw Star was inspired by a few other anime that we were talking about, and it turns out no, this predates those other anime. So this is technically a kind of progenitor. Yeah, like they weren't ripped off. Like every anime I've ever watched is a ripoff of something else. Like Yu Yu Hakusho is. I don't know if it's a ripoff of something else, but I know that Bleach is a ripoff of Yu Yu Hakusho. Like the story arcs, the stories are obviously different, but the premise is in the same trajectory. Like, because I had seen all of Yu Yu Hakusho, I was able, this is going to happen like a little bit later, and it did. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. I still enjoyed the show. I still enjoyed everything about it. But when we were talking, I was like, I'm trying to create a title for this. I was like, what would happen if Gurren Lagann, Gundam, and what was the other one?
Cowboy Bebop.
There was three. Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. What if they had a baby? What would you have? And it would be Outlaw Star. And while all those other shows, aside from Gundam, because I haven't seen all of them, I am a huge fan of. I'm a fan of Gundam too. I certain ones I've seen, I've liked. There's like one or two I was really not a fan of.
Are you talking about the first three movies that we watched? The original three, the dealios that kicked it all off, that started it all?
I liked those ones. There was one more recent. I want to say it was like Iron Blood Orphan or something like that. I just couldn't get into. But a few other ones I did like. And yeah, I thought that was very reminiscent of what's going on here. But apparently, this started it, and you can see the animation style, the themed music.
Right. CJ says a lot of shows did steal different action sequences from Cowboy Bebop, and he also says that the one that you're thinking of is Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Yeah, it was a good show in its own right, but as far as like a Gundam, I felt it was very tropey. It didn't really. It couldn't stand on its own, in my opinion. But again, that's just my opinion.
That it is. So, but that's okay. I forgive you for your transgressions.
Yeah. They're not all going to be home runs. They can't all be home runs.
Sure they can.
No, they can't, because
sure they can.
It comes to a point where you can't top what you just did.
Yeah, you can.
And it's a problem.
Why are you shortchanging? You know, I mean, you got to embrace it for what it is, man, which is love. And
no, it's one of the reasons why I personally believe that although no matter how much I desire and want and crave a second season of No Game No Life, there will never be one, because they can't. They caught lightning in a jar, and I don't think they can get another. Not currently, at least. So that's why even Crunchyroll on April 1st is like, hey, guess what? We're releasing season 2. Nope, April Fools.
Oh yeah, but that's not Crunchyroll that does that. It's the studio. It's the other licensors like studios and producers for it and things like that. It's not Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
I know you want
I feel
it to
like
be.
I blame Crunchyroll though.
You blame a lot of
I
stuff
want it
on
so
them.
bad, and CJ does too. He wants it too.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not meant to be.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. So I want to say this about Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star. And was it me? I mean, like, I feel like a good portion of the subplot was stolen from Outlaw Star for Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
Being
I'm not the
broke
only
all the
one
time,
that got that. Like, broke all the time.
No, I
in debt, bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Like
even I was gonna say, even the cast. You got a kid who's a genius with computers.
Mhm.
You've got the only thing they're missing is arguably one of the best. Their Spike was kind of a combination of Spike and oh crap, I have a brain fart. Who's the other guy?
Jet.
The guy we both Jeb. Yeah. So it's Spike and Jeb combined create our protagonist here, our Outlaw Star. So I mean, you just split everything a little bit too much, and you have Faye Valentine, who could be argued to be either the cat lady or the assassin. I really haven't decided who's who yet. It's not a complete and utter ripoff. No, so CJ, they did not come out at the same time. I thought they came out in a similar time as well.
Even if they came out at the same time, the manga's been out longer than the show was actually written for Outlaw Star. Like Cowboy Bebop was an original.
It was a not so original.
As in they didn't have any source material to go off of per se. Like Outlaw Star is based off of a manga. Cowboy Bebop was written specifically for TV, and then roughly around the same time they came out with it.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I understand it, and it for lack of a better way to say it, I really enjoyed the fact that it felt unique to me. Obviously, it wasn't, but it is. Yes, written. You could break out a bunch of different things. I don't know who the computer would be. Like what personality that would take over if.
Ein. Why not?
I thought the kid was Ein. I thought the kid was going to be like
Ed
Einstein. And yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, makes a little bit more sense than what you were shooting for.
Yeah, because I didn't see a difference. So that makes sense. I felt like I was missing a piece. That might have been it. But the bad guys were different, which was kind of cool. But I feel like I lost my train of thought there
because you realized the folly in your thought process, so you had to change it.
Lightning hit the brain. Yeah, like oh no shit, that makes perfect sense. Everything else I was gonna say is kind of irrelevant,
right?
But so in Outlaw Star, like the music was cool. The themed music was really cool. Meaning like when someone would come on, they had their own sub music. It wasn't a theme song because it wasn't powerful, but like when their benefactor, the guy who always was like, yeah, I've got your money, but you're gonna owe me. Give me a hug. You owe me.
Oh, you're talking about Fred.
Yeah, when Fred would show up, he had his own music playing in the background.
Oh yeah,
it was really awesome. I like that.
The thing is, Fred has a very, very big thing for Gene. I'm gonna say
that's putting it lightly. Yeah,
I mean, they honestly they keep referencing that Fred wants him to sleep with him and loves him.
Yeah, dearly.
Oh,
Dearly.
wholeheartedly.
To the point of even the bodyguards are like, the reason why we're not kicking you out and you're allowed to keep coming back is the boss loves you. And then they slam the door in his face. He's like, what? Huh?
Well, I mean, like
No.
I feel like he does know that at the same time, like
it's too out there not to be. And for the time, the show was incredibly progressive.
Okay.
Like I thought that at least so the show was what 1999, 1998.
Yeah, 1998.
Yeah, I got a question. In Cowboy Bebop, the currency was crazy inflated, crazy high. Like, oh yeah, 400,000 whatever can only support you for like a month. Whereas here, 500 seemed to be a lot. A bounty of 2,000 seemed
a lot. Well, you're talking about like the currency comparisons between Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is Wong in Outlaw Star, and then you had Wulongs in Cowboy Bebop. So 2 different types of currency.
Completely understandable.
And then you have Cowboy Bebop, which doesn't have alien species that we know of to a degree that are sentient.
Sure.
That everyone interacts with. Whereas of Outlaw Star, you have sentient species. And it takes place more than just in the Soul Galaxy, which is where we are. Or in the Soul System. For the Milky Way in the Milky Way Galaxy. As far as we know, Outlaw Star takes place in the Milky Way Galaxy as a whole outside of the Soul System.
Sure. Okay. I mean, I guess I can see how you come to that understanding, and it makes sense. But at the same time, it kind of doesn't. Like, I don't understand where all of the... I promise I can words well normally.
No, you can't.
So I understand where all of the extraterrestrials come from, but I didn't realize they were they were so far out of the scope of what we consider to be the universe. Like they were out of the Milky Way. I thought they were like when they did their parsec jumps that they jumped galaxies, like crossing the universe, which is why I thought it was so impressive when they're like, oh yeah, so-and-so's following us. I was thinking to myself, the range on those tracking devices must be insane.
Yeah. That's for sure. But then again, you also have to like understand that there's some massive differences in between the two, right? You know, it's not like you can exactly go, yeah, no, this is totally understandable. I can see the direct comparison between one which is local system versus galaxy wide. Technologies are going to be vastly different. I mean, it's not like in Cowboy Bebop, you had literal cyborgs walking around and things like that, to our knowledge, that we know of.
Well, I mean, here we also had cyborgs. I don't think they were... I don't think they were as widely...
I mean, like, yeah, one of our main protagonists came directly out of a suitcase, right? Directly out of a suitcase. So, I mean, legitimately... I could see that. I mean, but...
Well, I thought that it was just a cryosleep. I didn't realize it was anything important.
Well, I mean, they did go into details about her whole ambiguous background and that she was kind of not really human because they kept alluding to it, and they talked about it, and even at the beginning for the pre-show portion of the show, each episode, they even talked about it. It's like there are people that are like kind of both. They're biomechanical, this and that. They're not really humans, but they're humans at the same time. And
like I thought that was kind of cool. They did like an opening for each person. Like they're like, so and so is only 11 years old, and so is a hacker. And then later they're like computer engineer, and you're like, is he a hacker?
Well, to clarify, sir, they only said that in the dubs for you. They never specified engineer in the subs, to my knowledge. I don't remember them ever seeing it.
Okay. That might have been one more communication barrier that they just didn't bother with then, because they listed as both when I watched it in the dubs.
Right.
Now, I would like to point out, I did watch it subbed and dubbed. I didn't I didn't do my normal. Well, I like it this way, so I'm just going to stay this way. And I thought both voices were really accurate for what they were trying to get for. Yeah. You didn't like the dubbed?
God no, man. I hated the dubbed.
But who was your least favorite in the dubbed?
Voice wise?
Yeah.
All of them.
No, you
except for the narrator.
Who's your least favorite?
I liked the narrator because it was the same voice as Jet.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. That surprises me. I thought for sure you'd be like, no, that cat lady sucked.
They all sucked.
And yeah.
They all sucked.
No, I deny that.
I
deny that wholeheartedly.
Blue chunks.
No, I was a fan.
I know you were.
The reason I'm a fan,
I know you were.
Probably is because the reason I'm a fan probably is because I originally saw it in the dubbed. I didn't. This is before I realized what subbed was. I mean, hell, you're the one that introduced me to it, and I only knew it in dubbed way back in the day, of course. Granted, I realize that we can refine our palate. However, I personally think it was better in dubbed.
Well, hey, you know what? Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. And if you feel like the dubs were better, that's fine. CJ in our chat says, from what he's hearing, Jack absolutely loved this anime, especially the dubbed. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
my heart just is swooned for it. Just absolutely.
It doesn't sound like it, but the underlying value is yes, that's accurate.
Yes, 100%, 100%, 1,000%, million%. Just loved it by any stretch of the imagination.
What was your least favorite part of the whole? I guess. How many arcs do you think there was here? That's a better question. How many arcs
I think
were in
it
this
was
show
one
for 24
season.
Episodes, 26 episodes?
I think it was one season. I'm not going to try and break it down to arcs. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to try and break it down by arc. But I want to know, man. I mean, like, we know what my least favorite voice was or voices were for the dubs. I mean, like, you loved the dubs, so you must have had at least one voice you didn't like.
Yeah, I mentioned it already. The cat.
Yeah, but
I hated that.
Why?
Because it didn't fit. It was very pitchy, I realized it was intended to be that way, but like, that was bad. It was pitchy on purpose, and that's what made it bad for me. If it was pitchy on accident, like it felt more natural. No, this felt forced. This felt like it was just jammed in your face, and it wasn't good. I feel like whoever saw it never saw the actual show prior, and were like, yeah, this character should do this all the time, and I just feel like, no.
The thing is,
you need more consistency.
A lot of the people that tend to be hired or brought in, they tend to just be hired off the street, or people that are trying to get work for it, and so a lot of them, just don't have the experience, and so they're trying to convey a particular feeling or viewpoint.
I mean, I guess. Now, I got a question.
Might have an answer.
Did you watch the Spanish dubbed?
What?
Did you watch it in any shape or form with a Spanish dub?
What? Why would I watch it in?
Because I did on accident.
Okay.
So I tried subbed at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first sub that came up on YouTube, not on Funimation, because I wanted to see what YouTube had, was a Spanish dub. And I was like, I got to try it. I got to try it. And I was not disappointed. I was not disappointed. For me, you should just
I'm not
watch
going to
a third of an episode, because the voices are so outlandish that it is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay.
If you didn't like the English dub, the Spanish dub is where it's at, because it is just beyond.
Well, I mean, being I don't speak Spanish that fluently, sir, to where I would be able to understand what's saying. So it would be...
It transcends understanding.
Yeah, that's not going to work for me. What I'm hearing
the voices don't match so hard. Don't match at all.
Well, then why would I want to watch it? I mean, like, it was like that for the...
comical.
It was like that for the dubs for me. So why would I want to subject myself to something else that, again, doesn't match what I'm seeing,
It's so good. It's so good.
So what you're saying is I subject myself to something that I don't want to watch because it's horrible, like the English dubs.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
The answer to your question is no.
The answer to my question is you should. I will. You know what? I think if we can, I'm going to try to shoehorn this in here. If we can, that should be an option as a vote to be like, yeah, you totally should. Give us your opinion.
No, because it's something we've already seen. We're doing a normal review on it, and it's not gonna even come up for a review because you and I would both have to watch it too in its entirety, not just one episode, in its entirety, sir.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No. Are you sure? Do you wanna maintain what you're saying?
I would like to do one episode.
Nope.
Just to have you watch it.
No.
I can't do the whole series.
You got to do the whole series.
Like
it's all or nothing. All or nothing.
No.
Right there.
That hurts. That hurts my feelings.
Why not? See, that's how I feel. Right there. That's exactly how I feel.
Really?
No.
Yeah, maybe not.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Just are you sure, Rick?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I couldn't do the whole series in Spanish. One, I wouldn't understand it, but the voices are so obscured that it is not something that I'd be willing to voluntarily put myself through. Very similar to the the horror shows you wanted me to watch. Yeah.
Jinjo Ito?
Yeah. Yeah, no. I can't do it.
Are you sure?
Can't do it. Yeah. No. Anyway, so I brought that up to bring up that I think that it's not one series. It's not one season. I think it's 3 arcs, 3 separate arcs.
No.
Roughly, in my opinion. Because I feel like you could have broken this into 3 separate seasons, fully fleshed out, and I'd be just as happy as with the 26 episodes I got. So I'm happy they condensed it, but I feel like they could have
done more.
I feel like they could have brought it to 3 seasons, and I'd have been perfectly happy, assuming the quality was there.
Well, I mean, look, the quality wasn't there all the time, and you had some pretty comical moments for their animation at several points.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, sometimes you're just looking at it and you can't help but go, yes, that is a real thing. They obviously can't draw that tiny because
they're like they are that is the Pikachu face. It's 2 dots and like a slit for a mouth.
Right? It works. It's what they did.
Yeah.
But
that's how you know. That's how you know that this is hand drawn. It's not computer animated.
Right. Well, this was like kind of the precursor to the CG era, you know? So a lot of it obviously had to be hand drawn, or they did their best at hand drawing a lot of it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, goodness. CJ says, I mean, I'll take that if you're watching the show, like visually. He says, I'll take that over Pain's face deforming in Naruto. And I would agree with that. I would.
Like,
yeah.
Why they did it the way they did it is understandable. Okay.
Yeah, you had to have like super. It was meant to show
insane speed. It's meant to show insane. I mean, like, granted, if that means my eyeballs are at the back of my feet to help have that show, then yes, that is exactly what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense. You know, when you move that fast, you just can't physically maintain whatever you have. And the good news is you have a healing factor that is so strong that when you stop going to those speeds, it's very simple to reform in the appropriate manner, you know?
Yeah.
That's the only explanation I can think of.
Yeah. So back to the main show, back to the main portion of it. One of the things that I always found kind of interesting is that almost everyone had this kind of like blush look going on their face, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like at all times, there was someone just blushing for some reason or another. Just about. That's just
to show how flushed one can become when trying to kill someone,
or just talking to someone, or just being there. in love with each other.
Yeah, you got the ooh-woo going on all day long.
I mean, the other thing is...
It's a very popular drawing style, though.
It was.
That I believe is to show...
It was.
I believe they did that to show the lack of intent, the lack of malicious intent, you know?
No.
Well, whenever you saw that flush, it wasn't in an intense fight scene. It was more to the point of just talking or slight embarrassment.
Yeah, but they did that all the time. It wasn't just at one particular point in time. It was all the time. Oh, we're talking, we're having meals. Oh, let's blush.
Because something embarrassing was probably said.
Yeah, this food is really good. Is that what you're saying?
That sounds embarrassing to me.
Food is delicious. Let us be embarrassed by this.
It sounds accurate to me. I mean, that's what I do whenever I'm like, "Ooh, this is so delicious." Ooh.
Well, here's another problem that I had with the series. Like, I understand they're trying to captivate what they're trying to do, which is like what it was supposed to be, like this special super ether drive that allows them to travel faster than light.
Well, my question would be, if you have a sub-ether drive in space, can you explain to me, for any real reason, why you've got particles you're able to have, it looks like wind and whatnot,
manipulate, and why does it look like they have propellers on the back of their ships?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
now, the propellers also go in a different direction. Well,
simultaneously at the exact same time. Yeah. No, that's exactly what I was trying to get to. But it felt like they were trying to go for a kind of like a seafaring type deal, you know? They were trying to go for...
It did remind me that it was it did remind me that it was like you're going through stuff. Now you're going through space, but you're going through like a viscous material that you're able to push or propel yourself forward.
Yeah.
Maybe even able to condense light and throw yourself forward through the light, which is why you're able to go faster than light.
Maybe? So, no. I don't know.
CJ
I mean,
says it's actually a giant smoothie blender.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, cool. I love the faces or looks or particular situations that they get into, and the reactions of just pure disbelief. Like in the second episode, they fire a rocket launcher at this guy and it just bounces off, and they're just like, what just happened? Like, why? How do you survive a rocket launcher to the face type of thing, you know?
Oh, it's simple. You got armor. Plot armor, one might even say.
Plot magic, sir?
Plot magic.
Plot magic?
Oh, that brings me to another question. They've got ninjutsu in here.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
What do you call it? Because they're doing the hand signs. They're weaving the hand signals.
Well, they're not. They're just holding their hands in a very particular way while they chant. It's called Tao magic, I believe, is what the term was actually called. Yeah,
it's possible. It's very possible. However,
what do you mean? How it's possible? That's literally what they said. I mean, like it's beyond possible. It's exactly what they said.
I'm skeptical. Mainly because when they do these things, they've got wind blowing in the background that somehow have maple leaves, which I haven't seen a maple tree in the anime, but they got maple leaves somewhere, and then the maple leaf is somehow able to blow in front of the in between the camera and the people, and they're there before the leaf, and after the leaf they're gone. Sounds like Hidden Leaf Village stuff to me.
I mean, like, you guys heard it here. You heard it in the pre-show. You're hearing it here again. His love of Naruto just transcends everything. Like, he sees it everywhere, sees it in all. He just can't help but make it that. Just saying.
I'm just saying. There's a movie called Multiplicity way before I watched, and it says something very true. If you love something, you see it everywhere. Yep.
Well, I mean, speaking of love, how about Harry? Like, that dude's got problems.
Care to dive in on that?
Yeah, his so Harry, one of the McDougal brothers, All right.
There you go. Yeah. The younger brother or the
Yeah.
older brother?
I didn't
The
say
younger,
Ronald.
the cyborg.
Well, no. He was a human at first. All right. Off his rocker, kind of, sort of. He was born in a test tube. He even said so. But he was a human at first. Okay.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. And then he got a scratch on the arm, right? Literally a little scratch on the arm, which sent him down to the ground like a sack of bricks.
No shit.
Yep. Just a little tiny scratch. And because he had that scratch, he's like, yo, brother, I'm off my
Take my
rocker.
arm.
I need to replace my arm because it is now injured. And his brother says, are you sure that's what you want? And he goes, yes, of course. I'll do anything for this. And he goes, cool. All right. That makes total sense. Your arm is completely useless now. We should totally just rip it off and replace it.
Like a Band-Aid.
Like a Band-Aid, right? Because why the hell not? And that's exactly what they do. So that's the beginning of his transformation. He was born in a test tube. He was grown in a lab. And then at some point when he gets a scratch, he goes, I need to replace my arm. And that's when he gets that fake arm. It's after the scratch. I mean, once you get a scratch, Rick, you know that you have to rip off your arm and replace it.
That seems fairly regular to me.
Yeah. So then after his arm gets ripped off, that's when he becomes his cybernetic arm. He rips it off himself because he can't hack the ship and things like that. That's when he becomes mostly cyborg. And then
I was going to say, what happened?
He becomes fully cyborg when his body gets crushed. And then after that, he becomes the ship's AI.
Well, so I was going to say, I got a question about that. You remember when he got shot in the arm, right?
Yes.
Wasn't he hacking then?
Yeah, he was.
So how do you hack with your arm like that, or but without being a cyborg? I thought.
Well, in case you didn't know, he had a little thing in the side of his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have it connected to one of your veins in your neck, it's called plot hacking because he had that wire going to somewhere and it had to go somewhere very special. So,
I thought it went to his brain.
Well, it had it in the side of his neck and then it went down somewhere else. And
CJ calls it a AI hickey.
Exactly.
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, it makes it kind of sense, doesn't it?
Kind of,
sort of.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. I got nothing, man. I don't know, man. It was a good show for what it was. It was entertaining for what it was, but and it was a nice trip down memory lane. But after 24 years, it really, honestly, has not aged well.
Why not? Do you think it hasn't aged well because of other things you've seen, or has it not aged well because
my repertoire has expanded beyond where I first saw it, and I watched this as it came out.
Okay. Really, as it came out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was originally shown on Adult Swim at night.
So you watched it on the dub?
Yes. And
okay, I was thinking maybe like Daily Motion or something.
No. Nope. And as it came out, I was watching it. It was like, oh, this is awesome. This is great, which is why I didn't remember episode 16 to 23. I was like, I don't remember these episodes. And then I dug into it and I found out why. And it was like, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah. So to clarify, episode 16 and which one was it?
23.
23. Show.
They're filler episodes. I mean, like it's exactly what they are. They're just filler episodes.
Oh, so I assumed that it is because they showed much more than you would typically see in an anime that is shown on TV.
No, they were just filler episodes.
Yeah, it felt like they didn't need to be there. I was happy they were because I got to see more of the show that I love. But yeah, no, it was not something I was expecting. I was like, oh shit, look at that. Were there any twists you weren't expecting? Either from the first time you saw it or the last?
I wasn't expecting such an open ending.
Yeah, I thought it was like, I remembered it being a closed ending. I remembered it being like open, shut, we're good to go.
Yeah.
But here, definitely wasn't that.
No.
Here, it was more of a catch you next time on, or it felt like Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball Z. It felt like Naruto into Naruto Shippuden. Like, our story here is done, but check us out here as our story continues.
Yeah.
Because it was instead of to be continued, it was see you next time. You know.
Yeah. No,
Don't get me wrong. I felt happy about it. It felt good, but it wasn't. It wasn't a bookend I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I know 23 years later, you know.
I'll be right
22
back.
years later, 24 years later.
I need to step away real quick. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. 23, 22, 21 years later, however long ago it was, it hasn't come back. So I haven't really seen anything that would indicate it's the easiest way to put it is because I have the benefit of time, it's not given me any hope that I'll see it again. So I mean, if that makes sense, great. If it doesn't, then it is what it is. But the benefit of time has given me Cowboy Bebop, has given me Gundam, has given me Gurren Lagann. And the thing I found that was kind of interesting is caster shells actually have different abilities and different attributes, mainly because there's spells that he can shoot out, and certain spells actually cost life, which was interesting and kind of cool. And some of them even shoot out like a black hole. And of the named shells that he's able to pull out, I think were caster shells 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 19. All the other ones are unknown.
I like that they included, to piggyback off of what you were saying, the bonus episodes tie into how he actually gets those shells, which I'm glad that they actually included that with the series itself, so that we were actually kind of informed as to what the hell's going on and where those shells actually came from, and the significance of them too.
Well, I like the fact that they exposed a lot of the lore around it, because shell number 19 is a red shell that causes a blue glow, but he never fired it. So they don't know what the effect is. And then he has an unknown shell, a generic one, that causes a pink glow in the turbine and creates a large blue beam when fired. Number 13, I want to say, is the one he used the most because it causes an electric shock when it connects.
Well, the three that what was it, 4, 9, and 13, he only had, 2 of number 4, 1, 9, 1, 13. Those were supposed to be never found because they had to be made of a very particular way, and they drew on so much magic that wasn't available anymore that it drew on your life force instead. He didn't use those the most. I mean, that's all he actually had. Like, that's all he ever obtained. He had the other ones that he had used, and they drew on the normal magic that was around. However, for those particular 3 were the ones that he had to actually use, that he didn't get till later on, and he only used them at the very end simply because of the amount of power that they would actually use.
Yeah, so I actually looked it up through the wikis and stuff like that, and the caster shells are actually numbered by the wizards who created them, and their effects were defined by the various effect on each shell. The shells that are numbered 4, 9, and 13 are the rarest kinds.
Yeah, because
and were only created by certain wizards, and after they died, the art to create them was lost.
No,
according to the wiki, number 4, number 9, and number 13 were made by 3 specific people that didn't share how they were made.
Exactly. And they were made specifically by the wizards in episode 23.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because according to the wiki, when they died, they didn't pass on the knowledge on how to.
That has to be made specifically by those 3 wizards, and they don't make an abundance of them because it has to be made specifically by them, and it's a lost art that only they know. That is true, because they even said that in episode 23.
Yeah,
which is why he could only get it from those wizards, because they are the only ones that know it, and those were the only ones that they made.
Works for me.
Yep. The more you know, I mean, like, dude, you need to stop watching everything at double and triple speed. Right?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
So that way you can get the context and understand completely what's going on. You know.
To be fair, I couldn't watch it at double or triple speed. I actually had to watch it in the super slow speed.
Oh, the normal speed. Normal speed.
Yeah. Oh, it felt so long and drug out. I'm not going to lie.
Look, sir, much like this, all your problems and solutions can be solved through the power of love and friendship.
And books.
And books for you. Not so much for me. Just love and friendship for me. Books for you. It is what it is, right?
Yeah, I loved the show. It's one of those things I really appreciated.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So
All right, sir. I mean, we've pretty much talked the show to death, honestly, without really going into too much or going into the actual ending of it. Aside from our little hint at everything could be solved through the power of love and friendship, I feel like this is a great spot for a rating. How about you?
I agree. I think this would be a fantastic spot for a rating.
All right. So on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this?
4,500. No.
1.6 million.
What I feel, yeah, whatever my debt is.
Right.
Oh man. Honestly, looking at this as if it was a progenitor or a precursor to the whole show or the three other shows, I have to score it highly. But if I was to do it by itself, no, I'd still go high because I love it. The sub and the dub both did really well for me. The music, the story, the characters, they all go really, really well. I'm gonna have to. It's definitely not Your Lie in April, but it still made me feel poorly when one of the characters, meet their end that I originally disliked. So I'm gonna go. I'm struggling between a solid 8 and a soft 9. So I'm gonna go with a solid 8. Yeah, I'm struggling between them, and I can't see a hard 9. So I'm gonna go a hard 8, soft 9, hard 8.
Okay. I personally am going to go with. I'm going with the 7. I'm going a little bit lower.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me. How come?
I didn't enjoy it as much. It was honestly a little bit hard for me to get through. The comedy was just kind of dry or lacking in it. The story just it really didn't grasp me the way it should have. But I do have a lot of fond memories for it, and since I did see it before and it made me want to revisit it, that's honestly the reason why I'm going with a 7 instead of a 6.
No shit.
Yes.
As CJ says, that's a strong rebuttal, or rather, what's your rebuttal? And I'm gonna go with that. It's a strong one.
Yeah. So
wow. It's got all the good characteristics though. It's got a solid beginning. It's got a decent middle. Hey, so is it my turn? Is it my choice for the show? Because you got me thinking now.
My love story, which is a recommendation from Angel, and that's what we're going to watch. That's all the time that we have for today. My goodness, what a long one it was, though. Jeez Louise. If you caught us live, if you're listening to the Patreon exclusive, my goodness, man, you guys are getting your worth today.
Yeah.
And so if you feel like we did this too much justice, not enough justice, or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us. Featured Anime Podcast at gmail.com, at Those Anime Guys on Twitter, at Featured Anime Podcast on Facebook. You can talk to us on our Discord. We have a link for that in the show notes for you. Feel free to join us in there. We're always in there talking, yakking, and everything else like that. If you want to help support us, help us grow, help us expand and get better as we go on, to do more for you, you can check us out at patreon.com/featured anime podcast. Buy yourself some swanky swag, some merch and things like that. Help us support us, help us grow like that. shop.featuredanimepodcast.com. If you want to, buy the show, buy Outlaw Star, we have some affiliate links in the description for you. It's for Right Stuff Anime, and then we also have some affiliate links to Amazon if that is your preferred place to purchase it. If you prefer Amazon, we have a couple affiliate links in there for you too. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick, and we'll see you next time.